This is Lagoon Radio.
It's a good morning to you this morning, the 14th day in the month of June 2022, and it's another edition of the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio. Follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook is at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. My name is Taiwo Adeola Shabiolegwe. Good morning once again. And with me in the studio is Simidele Olabisi Oke. Good morning.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Olabisi Simidele Oke. Good morning.
Good morning, you're welcome. How was your night?
My night was just there, like it was just fine. Let me just say fine. My night was fine.
Village people.
Oh my God.
All right, so we've got quite a number of papers here, but we'll try as much as possible to cover all of it. I'll be starting with the Nigerian pilot. On the front page, we can see Kaduna Rivers and 30 others attract zero foreign investment in the first quarter of the year. You can get that story on page 6. Be wary of politicians, Governor Lalong tells newly appointed judges. That one is on page 5. And the major headline there says, Bishop, priest kidnapped. This happened on a Sunday evening. And the writers to that says, gunmen kidnap Anglican bishop, wife, and driver in Oyo State. Catholic priest of St. Anthony's Parish, Jos, Reverend James Kantoma, also kidnapped. Bishop Adirogba, others were kidnapped at 8:30 p.m. Sunday along Ogbomosho Expressway, as police confine abduction of 3 missionaries in Kogi State. This is a lot. But all of this you can read on page 8 of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper. Moving on, insecurity, please direct religious houses to engage private security guards. I think that has been the churches and religious houses have they're taking actions already. I witnessed that on Sunday, and now
Even today.
and it's continuous because we have to take. In fact, we have to be very, very conscious of our environment, not even in these trying times. That's on page 5. 3 military officers faint at Eagle Square parade. Go. That's on page 7. 2023 APC stakeholders reject Muslim ticket as Northwest Group highs VP slots. That's on page 8. Oil price falls to $120 a barrel. $120 a barrel amid rising COVID-19 cases in China. And so many more other stories there. At the very bottom, we can see federal government borrowing from CBN 19 trillion naira. Inflation may worsen, report has shown. I read that in the news this morning. That one is on page 6. You might want to find out more.
All right. I'll be taking Daybreak Nigeria, and right at the top, gunmen kidnap Khan chairman in Plateau State, and that's on page 4 of Daybreak Nigeria. And this is on 2023 elections, as INEC has said that 2023 elections will be the best in Nigeria, and practically we pray it is really like we pray it's the best in Nigeria, and nothing but the best. Okay, you can continue reading that on page 5. PDP caucus moves to endorse Wike as Atiku's running mate. That's on page 6 of Daybreak Nigeria. And on to page 9, Moghalu dumps ADC after losing a presidential ticket. That's on page 9. And to me, Shab, do you think he should drop? Do you think he should dump the party, like after losing the presidential ticket? Because to me, I feel that it shouldn't be because you're aspiring for a particular position. That shouldn't be your major reason for joining a party. I think you should have some other positive reasons for joining the party, and it shouldn't be for your own selfish interest.
The reason why he took that decision is best known to him, but I'm sure he must have made his own contribution to the party, and then probably they've promised him heaven on earth.
That's
in return,
thing.
at the end of the whole primary,
he ended up getting earth and earth.
So, but I don't think this is the best option. But for whatever reason, he's entitled to his
To his own
opinion and he's
choice.
responsible for his actions.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you can continue reading that on page 9 of Daybreak Nigeria. And moving to page 5, back to page 5, Buhari rejoices with Abdul Salami Abubakar on at 80. So this is wishing Abdul Salami Abubakar a happy birthday as well. Okay, the major headline on Daybreak Nigeria: controversy rages over Muslim ticket as ruling party set to unveil Tinubu's running mate. Kebbi Governor Atiku Bagudu, former Governor of Borno State Kashim Shettima, Kano Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, and Plateau Governor Simon Lalong among top contenders.
Because I was hearing something yesterday about this VP slot or Shimbaju Tinubu, but I don't want to believe it, so I don't want to delve into it. I take a pause.
Okay, so and Muslim ticket insensitive, complete lack of respect for Nigerians, says Bode George. You can continue reading that on page 2 of this Nigeria papers. And this is moving on page 5. Troops kill bandits on Kaduna Abuja highway. And we've read this. Chaba taking this in the Nigerian pilot, so I'm not going to be taking it again. And on page 4, electricity customers hit 10.37 million in 2020, says NBS. And lastly, on this day, Nigeria. This is on page 5. I think we have the bulk of the story for this for Daybreak Nigeria on page 5, and this one says again national electricity grid collapses. I think we read that yesterday as well, and this is about the 5th or 6th time that the electricity grid will actually be collapsing.
It's in the news again today.
Yeah. So
you can imagine if we continue like this, and over 200 million people in this country, and then we're here to meet our target for the exact megawatt that we're expected to be using.
Exactly.
I mean, there's a lot of work to put in place here.
So that'll be all for Daybreak Nigeria.
All right, quickly, I'll be taking a few one from the Daily Champion. Peter Obi's running mate will come from North, says Abure. The writer to that says, stakeholders want Ekunife to shun talking ill of Obi. Mogalo resigns from ADC. All of these you can read on page 6. Democracy Day Parade. 3 military officers faint at Eagle Square. Wait. It's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
No, they are human.
Yeah,
they are human. So it's
just funny because
really.
Why will a soldier be falling?
I know now.
That's the funny part of it.
Let me just say that's actually one of the mistakes we make, really, because we believe
that's
because these people are military personnel.
That is the way they portray themselves.
Yes,
and then we have to take it that way.
But let's not forget that they are also humans, and I believe that they didn't really, maybe they did not really take their health into cognizance, and and that you look fit doesn't mean you won't have medical challenges, or that you look fit doesn't mean your blood pressure cannot shoot up anytime, or that it doesn't mean that you cannot have cardiac arrest anytime. Of course. So that's actually the way it is. They are humans as well. So I would actually
I can't believe you.
Yeah, I'm actually nice today. Sharp. Today is the 14th. Today is the 14th day in the month of June. Please, I have proposed in my heart that I'm going to be nice for the rest of this month.
I'm the savage one this morning.
You're the savage one today, and for the rest of the week. Oh.
I didn't know. But I'll take note. All right, so that's that. Zulum visit Longumani approved 500 resettlement houses. Also on page 6. I think there's a lot to read on page 6. You can find out more. The major headline there, also on page 6. 2023 elections will be the best conducted ever. Like I said, a lot to read on page 6. But I'll take one from page 4 of the paper. INEC CVR Umahi threatens to sack appointees whose local government record low performance. Swears in female head of service and 5 commissioners. Also 2 essays. That's on page 4 of the Daily Champion newspaper. if you look at the bottom of the paper, we can see Supreme Court affirms McDonald Iberi as Imo APC chairman. IPOB accuses security operatives of criminal activities in Southeast. That story is on page 8 of the Daily Champion. And so many more. There, we move on.
All right, on to Daily Independent. I'm actually seeing something that that's actually interesting, and that is let me just give it to us. Finally, federal government issues code of practice for online platforms.
Wait,
Says, calm down.
I said that in English. I want to read it out. Continue.
Says it's to protect Nigerians against hate speech and fake news. So that's on page 7 as the federal government, through the National Information Technology Development Agency, yesterday actually issued a code of practice for interactive computer service platforms and internet intermediaries online platform and conditions for operating in the country. And basically, I think it's actually a very good move, really, because there are, like we said yesterday, there are lots and lots of fake news on our social media platforms that is even affecting people's mental health, and a lot of hate speeches and all that. So it's a good move. You can continue reading that on page 7 of the Daily Independent papers, and boldly written on the front page of the Daily Independent papers, Buhari's CPC bloc insists on picking Tinubu's running mate, and Tinubu's group says we should plan to win, not fighting for positions.
Baba, what do they do? Sorry.
You can continue reading that on page 29 of the Daily Independent.
It is expected.
It's expected, and it's actually true. The plan is to win the election and not to fight for positions. So
presidential seat
is a position, but you don't need to fight for it. You need to win it. You need to win it and not to fight.
And some people are fighting it with their own blood and sweat.
Exactly. And to me, it doesn't make sense, because why should you in the first place?
And then know what's in the define.
Anyway, so moving on, steady drop in forex inflow worrisome despite CBN's efforts. That's on page 7, and I think I actually saw that yesterday as well. Like, the forex market is not smiling, actually. So for our dear forex traders, you need to pipe low. You need to take it one step at a time. And if you're a new forex trader, you need to match your break a bit so that you will not end up eating breakfast. Thank you very much. All right, continue. Moving on. Police begin manhunt for abductors of bishop, wife, and driver. Gunmen kidnap Catholic priest in Plateau community. That's on page 6. And Nnamani says neglect of Southeast in power equation sending wrong signals. You can continue reading that on page 29. And moving to page 30, Super Eagles record Nigeria's biggest win. That's a wow. Tell me, let me the biggest win is not a very small win, no, a 10-0 win.
Yes.
Let me just ask, where the opponent sleeping?
Yeah, so the Super Eagles 10-0 mauling of Sao Tome and Principe in a 2023 AFCON qualifier in Morocco.
Wow.
On Monday entered the record books as the country's biggest win since its official match in 1947. 49. That's a very long time.
I think let me just on behalf of myself, let me tell the Super Eagles player to send the account number to my WhatsApp line. If you don't have my number, you have missed the awoof. Anyway, at least it's a way of appreciating them, don't you think? Even if it's my salary, I will use it. Though you know, rich, but my widow's mite.
Okay, so in terms of goals scored, it was record equaling. The national team had also scored 10 goals, though considered one in an A game against neighbors Dahomey, now Benin Republic. That was in 1959. It don't
It have to.
So now you see.
It have to. But it's a big congratulations to the Super Eagles, really, and we hope that you keep keep up, like keep up, like keep it up. Don't
keep up the good
don't
work.
Snooze. Don't snooze. Don't break our hearts. Thank you. All right. This is another one. A rise in ways and means piles pressure on Nigeria's volatile debt profile. That's on. That's on page 6 of the Daily Independent. And as we all know, our dear country Nigeria is sitting on a very big, should I say, cushion share, a big marble share of debt, and we hope to come out of it very soon, distant time, so that debt will not keep piling up, and. Okay, so lastly on Daily Independent, 3 slums during Democracy Day parade at Eagle Square. That's on page 29, and that'll be all for the Daily Independent papers.
All right, on this day newspaper, we can see S&P report pipeline closures, maintenance drag Nigerians' oil output to new low, and the rider to that. Between March 3rd and April 1st, production curtailment pushed the country's total loss to 5,445 million barrels. Political risk may worsen ahead of elections in early 2023, says Platts Analytics. That's another thing we heard this morning in the news, but it might interest you. The story is on the front page, and you can continue reading on page 30. Lost local content. NCDBMB NICOM unveil insurance services guidelines for oil industry. That's on page 8. APC has collapsed every aspect of Nigeria. Article laments, urges Nigerians to vote out ruling party. That's on page 8. The headline says don't explain the story, but you might want to interest you to find out more on page 8. 3 days to deadline, parties in last-minute consultations for running mate. Tinubu working on options, ask for more time. Okowa and Wike top preference as opposition party is almost done. Obi Kwankwaso still consulting. Abdusalam Peace Committee doubts credible polls in 2023. All of the stories, you can continue reading on the inside on page 30 as well. Peter Obi, over 100 million Nigerians living in poverty. That's on page 5. And it's so sad. And now that election is coming, you're not even paying attention to the important things. ASU is there, still on strike. Students are sitting at home whiling away their time. And so many more living unattended to. So, there's hunger in the land. There is hunger in the land. Nobody wants to even give anybody any money. It's true. You see all these people begging on the street. No, I was passing by then. I'm like, not even one person want to drop money.
Do you have it? If you have,
if I have, I'll give.
Exactly.
I'm a giver.
You're a giver. Come and give me.
I don't have your own money.
Just prove to me that you're not stingy.
I do not have your money.
Send some money to my account.
I do not have your kind of money. What?
Why are you paranoid?
I do not have your money. You wreck me.
Don't put it.
There's hunger in the land, but whoever you have, people are hungry, but whoever you have the opportunity, the strength to help, please do. I think that's much I can take on the front page of this newspaper.
All right, I'll be taking the blueprint papers, and this is boldly written that the major headline: just so for presidential running mate, APC stakeholders reject Muslim tickets, ignore religion, consider electoral value. Professionals tell Tinubu, and which I think makes sense. Then only Northeast choice can cage Atiku, says APC youth, as North Central lobbies APC Obi for VP slot. You want to know which of the Obis? You can check that on page 6 of the blueprint papers. And moving on, please graduate 6 PhD holders, 169 orders as spies. That's on page 5. And this is on page 25. Rwanda warns of food crisis as killings, kidnapping, fuel inflation. Lastly, on blueprint papers, First Bank secures $150 million Afrexim Bank grant. That's on page 25, and that'll be all I'll be taking on the blueprint papers.
Okay, just to take something new on the New Telegraph. African Airlines recovery post-COVID-19 hit 76%. That one is on page 17. And at the top of the paper, Customs seizes 21.6 billion naira vehicles, drugs, and other contrabands in 5 months. The story is there on the front page, and you can continue reading on the inside. Something new again. Ijo youths put Niger Delta on red alert over strange movement in riverine communities. Mass burial for deceased worshippers on Friday. That's under the Owo massacre, and this story is on pages 6 and pages 31 of the New Telegraph. And at the bottom of the paper, we can see World Blood Donor Day 7. World Blood Donor Day 7 million patients suffer from blood shortage, says WHO. Yeah, World Blood Donor Day 7 million patients suffer from blood shortage, says WHO.
But do you know that this blood donation stuff, though it's voluntary, but to me it looks like scam.
No,
Because you know the reason is, okay, take for example, you want to donate your blood, like from your heart of heart, from your church mind. You finish donating your blood, and after that one they just give you milk and biscuits. It's milk, malt and digestive biscuit. That's what they used to give them. So after giving you malt and digestive biscuit, they will not give you money. And is that your blood? Go. They will now go and say why. Maka, why?
it's just rather unfortunate.
To me, I feel
We
that
are-
since the donors are donating voluntarily, it should also be given to the patients voluntarily
For free.
For free. Because now a lot of people basically. Some patients cannot practically afford money
They can't.
for to buy a pint of blood. So it should be for those that cannot afford it, just give it to them and let it go. Okay, I remember there was a time when I wanted to give birth to my second child, because of my blood group and all that. And so the doctor was like, if I had known, I would have maybe donated my blood, maybe some pints of blood. They would have kept it in the bank for me, and after delivery I would have, just. So I'm like, it shouldn't be that way, so to me, I would actually move the motion to convince you and not to confuse you. That people that cannot afford to buy a pint of blood, just give it to them, because the donors are actually giving it out for free. Thank you very much.
So that one, yeah, I know of someone that does that.
Of course,
Yes,
he
in
doesn't
fact,
carry it.
voluntarily, he just goes there and donate at least once in a month, or I don't know how they do it, but you just go to the general hospital and then you donate.
Personally, I would have loved to donate, but the last time I wanted to try, they say my blood is only meant for me alone.
Are you serious? Or you're joking
I'm
now?
serious.
Okay. All of you that your blood that can't be shared. All of you blood carriers
Stingy
that can't
blood.
be shared. Stingy blood. Just like something that I know. But that's that on that. That's one is on page 27 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Do you have something new for us before we call it a wrap?
Yeah, on the Daily Trust, I won't step down for Lawan, says Marchina. That's Yobe North.
That was the first thing I heard this morning when I came to the studio. See, what was
Sorry, don't put it.
no, it's not about you being frustrated, really. Now, Godwin Emefiele eventually was disqualified.
Yeah.
And this was what he was avoiding. EJ, whichever one, if he eventually loses, then he has something to fall back to. I guess this is the case here now. You want to take back what you've given out. Person we don't they hide your seat since. It's not all that easy. You can't eat your cake and have it.
Exactly.
You have to choose one and be ready to face the consequences. So for every action taken, there are consequences, whether good or good. So I think
So that's it. So the last one for should I say for today?
yes,
Because
ma.
our time is fast spent and still on
Right.
Daily Trust. How defections created leadership vacuum in the Senate. You want to know how you can get that on page 15 of the Daily Trust papers. And I think to me, it doesn't really go well, defecting here and there. Like, it's as if you don't know what you're doing. It's as if you're a confused creature. So if you want to stay in APC, stay in APC. If you want to stay in PDP, just stay one place, and be known for that place. And that's the way it is. It's just like you having a particular business. People have actually known you for that business, and all of a sudden you just say, "Oh, I'm not doing this business again. I want to go to this." So it's like you have to be consistent wherever you are. So I think that'll be all for the newspaper review for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And this is where we draw the curtains. Tomorrow is going to be another edition. You do not want to miss out on the newspaper review. Like on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria. On Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoonradio.Ng. I remain Taiwo Adeola Shabiolebe. Good morning once again.
And I'm Olabisi Simidili. Okay, have a nice morning.
This is Lagoon Radio.